Hey guys, and welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm Alex Whiteley, and I've got a great show lined up for you today. Coming to you mainly from Theatre Severn, we're going to be speaking to the cast of Do I Love You, an amazing production put on by the John Godber company. The idea is I meet up with my friend and theatre geek, Polly, who's amazing. You're going to love her. And we speak to the cast of Do I Love You, and then we're going to watch the show and then review the show afterwards. I think that's really cool. This is the kind of thing I really want to be doing with the Biscuit as well. You know, reviewing theatre shows, I think, is absolutely fantastic. It shows you the kind of quality of show that rolls through town. And if we can get previews as well a couple of weeks before a show comes in, that'd be even better. So, I mean, you know, if there's anybody that's bringing a production to Shrewsbury and would like to get involved with that, then please get in touch with the show. I'm sure we can organise something very soon. I can record remotely wherever you are in the world. At the end of the show, I'm going to share with you a bit of audio. Me and Vix, we organised for Vix to go to a Shropshire Women in Business talk event. And she did. She went to Hickory's and amazing talker Pippa Tate was doing a talk. And Vix got a chat with some SWIB members about what they thought about the talk and what SWIB offers them as well. So I'm going to put that at the end. I held on to that bit of audio simply because it was quite short and I didn't know where to put it. So this was a great opportunity to just put it here. So if you want to hear that, make sure you stick around at the end. I'll let you know when that's been played. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to you the cast of Do I Love You? I hope you enjoy this podcast and I'll catch you guys at the end. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome to my mic the right way around. Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. Today we are at Theatre Severn. I'm really, really excited. The John Godber company got in touch and they were like, we're coming to Shrewsbury, we're bringing Do I Love You, would you like to come along and, you know, can you do a press release? I was kind of like, do you know what, I'm dying to get more involved with the theatre. We've done bits here, but I want to do regular podcasts with regular shows that roll in and out of here, so this is a great opportunity. And today I brought a theatre expert along with me, with Polly. Hello.
Expert's probably a bit generous, but great to be here.
You've been on the podcast before. We did Comic-Con, right? It was
Yes, I was very briefly on when you guys came to Shrewsbury Comic-Con. I was one of the stall holders there in a very different aspect of my life, but very glad to be here in my theatre aspect.
Yeah, theatre. So what does theatre mean to you then? Because you know, Tom, who's your husband and a good friend of the podcast, messaged you like, yeah, my wife is theatre crazy. You'll definitely come on. So what does it start for you?
You know what, theatre is everything, and I think that's probably like a really lame thing to say and probably sounds really pretentious, but theatre has been such a big force in my life for like a long time, to the point where like it really got me through quite a lot of like difficult aspects of like my not my childhood was difficult, but you know what I mean, you know, like the usual stuff in school and you get bullied and stuff like that. Theatre was always there as a thing, so like I've just been a bit theatre mad for a while. I was in all the school plays, I was in the drama club.
Proper like theatre geek then?
Oh yeah, big time theatre geek. I used to listen to all the CDs of all my favourite musicals all the time. I didn't go to, my first time at an actual proper theatre was literally when I was 18. So like it took me that long to get to a theatre, not counting like pantos or like school plays or anything like that, but like an actual real theatre production was when I was 18. So it took me 18 years to get there, but I spent those first 18 years religiously following everything. Like I'd listen to CDs of cast recordings, I'd like read all interviews of like different productions, I could tell you everything that was going on in the West End. Like I was obsessed. So like yeah, I'm a big theatre nerd would be an understatement.
Do you think do you think Shrewsbury reflects a theatre enough in this town? Do you think we do enough? Do you think enough big shows and things, productions rolls into this town?
I think we're very lucky to get what we do get. You know, I'm always quite surprised sometimes, probably unfairly surprised, that to see some of the big tours coming here and some of the big names coming here. But I think theatre is such a vibrant town, and I think it's always great to see that it kind of reflects in its theatre as well, but there's always room for more. Like there's always more, and I think, you know, we've got such a great space, and it'd be great to see some like really big productions come here, which they do, but it would be great to have more. But even like the local theatre and stuff, I always love how the Theatre Severn is always really big on like amateur productions. Like you see amateur like kids groups or like even just local groups, they all come to the Theatre Severn and they perform here, and that's amazing.
Yeah, Timmy's performed on both the Walker and the main stage. It's really cool. That's
the magic for me. It's happy because I remember when I performed once in like a real theatre like this one that wasn't like a school hall or something when I was a kid. I'm not a very good actor, because I like, just to point that out, because obviously I'm not doing it professionally, but when I was a child I was great at it.
I'm just so happy to be here, guys.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. I don't want you guys to think I'm like an actual person. I'm just a guy who's upset.
You are very much a normal person.
Yeah, I'm a real person. But we performed in a theatre, a real live theatre with like a backstage area. There was dressing rooms, there was wings. We never had that in the school hall, and that was magic, because that was like, wow, this is how everyone else does it. This is how the real people do it, and it really sparks something in you that makes you so just inspired. And theatre is just magic anyway, but to be a part of that magic, especially when you're young and you're in like a youth group or something like that, that's the best bit. And then you go and the next day you see someone performing on the stage that you performed at, and suddenly it's like, wow, I was there too. I'm one of the cool guys.
I'm really jealous. I wanted to do theatre, drama in my school in Wrexham, but they didn't have enough kids take part in that option, so they kind of took it away from me a little bit. I was a bit nervous to get into theatre. I mean, I got raised by TV and cartoons, right? I mean, I interviewed Charlie Adler, who does the voice for Ickis in Our Real Monsters, and Starscream in Transformers, and loads of the characters that I did, Cow and Chicken, and all these kind of things. And I was kind of like, Dad? Do you know what I mean? That's how I got raised. But then I started like seeing, and when you like, you know, watch Fiddler on the Roof or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, all these things, as a young boy, you're kind of deterred from liking that sort of stuff. You really are. But this is going to sound weird, but it's true. When I watched Bigger, Longer and Uncut, which is the South Park movie, it is a full-on blow-knot. It's very rude, but it is a musical. I was kind of like, oh, you're allowed to sing and enjoy this. And I did start like sort of watching musicals and enjoying them again, and that was really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I think, preconceptions about theatre, you know, because there's so much different types you can watch. Like you say, there's like the movie musicals, there's the TV musicals, the TV shows and things like that, and but then there's also like plays, there's also musicals, there's the Shakespeare, there's the really like silly improv stuff. There's so much going on, but I think it can be very easy to think that it's not for you for whatever reason that might be. And I think especially when you're younger as well, like the theatre is so lame, like it's so easy to be uncool and be a theatre nerd. I will know that very well, because I was the queen of uncool when I was in school. But I think, you know, for me, I got into it just because one of my drama teachers told me I was good at acting, and that kind of just like sparked something in me. Like I used to have, our school we were really lucky. I went to school in Llangollen in Wales, and we had a really great drama department, even from the off. I think we had like 3 dedicated drama teachers, but we had a really great drama department. So drama was part of our core subjects in year 7 and 8. And in year 8, just before we started to pick GCSE options, we had a parents' evening, and my drama teacher said to my mum, oh, she's actually really good. She did this like piece in class, and she was really good. She should do more. And so that was it. Then I was hooked. That was it. And that's all it takes is one teacher just to go, yeah, she was all right. And then the bug was bitten for me, and I was into it ever since. So it does matter what's around you and your environment's around you and what it can nurture you. But theatre's for everyone, man, you know. And I think everyone can find something. There's so much going on.
I can only go on sort of like my youth and what I saw around me, but I feel like the Disney Channel was like a catalyst for a lot of young actors, and the High School Musical. I mean, I suppose there are like the Pixar sort of those kind of Shrekky type movies that offer music as well. That is still in the same sort of area. I feel like there's a catalyst for wanting to sing and young people to get into movies and TV.
Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you. You know, High School Musical was huge for me, and all of those like Disney Channel original movies that used to have all the songs, even things like Phineas and Ferb, how they would always have. Like, I loved Phineas and Ferb, and they would always have a song. Like, pretty much almost every week they'd have a new song.
Any song that's opened by Bowling for Soup just wins for me anyway.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. But yeah, it's all things like that. But I think there's so much great stuff on like TV that really like sparks the same kind of love. And I think it's a really natural progression to go from like TV, because it's a really small jump between a musical episode of Phineas and Ferb to like, I don't know, the film The Greatest Showman to the film Les Mis, and then seeing Les Mis live. So it's kind of one of those just natural progression kind of things that happen.
I feel like it's nice when you get that light bulb sort of goosebumpy type moment in anything, like, and it can come from anywhere. I think Always Sunny in Philadelphia, for example, that episode that features lots of ballet and moving because he wants to come out to his dad in the prison, and that was the episode that Ryan Reynolds saw and unfortunately was like, I want to buy Wrexham. But like but like that's a sitcom that made dick and fart jokes, do you know what I mean? And it came from nowhere.
Yeah, and I think that you can kind of see the impact of things like that because almost every major TV series has a musical episode, right?
Yeah.
Every one, like Grey's Anatomy, The Flash, these are ones I can think of off the top of my head, but like every major TV series has a musical episode. Why is that? Because everyone loves that there's the magic of theatre there, and like people who act in TV shows, they're all theatre kids at heart, right? So it kind of all makes sense that it comes together.
Yeah, and you know what? People knock people like Swifties, for example, for being part of a contingent of people that enjoy that same thing, and it's not really my thing, and I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, but I like appreciate the fact. I mean, I've talked about Comic-Con recently with Charlie Adlard about like being part of a conversation, being part of that group, and being able to have the license to have those conversations with people, and that is what theatre is all about. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a community, you know, at the end of the day, and I think that's probably why I always found so much love in it, because it's always been about the community. It's about the people that you meet and the people that you make friends for life when you're doing like Amdram Theatre when you're 12 years old, and I still speak to those people now, and I think it's kind of that shared, I guess you feel that sort of camaraderie even with like the actors in TV, the actors on stage, you as an individual amateur or someone who just loves theatre, you kind of have that camaraderie because you know we're part of that same community, we're all in this together, even though you guys are doing it professionally and I'm just doing it in my living room. Like it's all kind of the same sort of space.
We'll put it to the test now. Guess what I watched last night with my family? We went out to watch Six.
Amazing. I love Six. I've seen it twice. I'm a big...
There you go, Six connection already.
Exactly. There you go. And that's what I love about theatre. And that's why theatre is everything, because there's so many different things you can talk about. Even someone who hates theatre, who hates going to see, will never see a musical, you'll find something to talk to them about with, because maybe they've seen a play, maybe they like Shakespeare, maybe they've just, like you say, seen a musical episode of a TV show. There's always something there that you can kind of draw back to.
What do you think is the best way of finding a good actor? To be a good heroine or a good villain? I love a good villain. I think I could play. I played villains before. I was in the prison.
Villains are always the most fun to play. I would say villains. I'm going to say something controversial. Villains are almost easy because they're like, everyone has an idea about what a good villain is, and you can kind of really lean into it and really ham it up, and you've kind of got the license to really go for it.
A bit ridiculous as well.
Exactly, especially for certain kinds of villains that are in shows and things like that. Heroine. It is hard to be the heroine, it's hard to be the hero, but I think it's almost those side characters. Those are the ones I always love. I think if you can get like a really random
Turkey-O type character.
Yeah, not even necessarily like the plucky sidekick, but just if there's like some random character, you've got like 2 scenes in Act 2 and you've come in and you've stolen the show, that is a good actor to me, because I think like that is how you do it, because you've kind of, everyone's watching you in that moment. You've got less of a show to kind of come in and make your impact. But like similarly, I love watching the ensemble. Like some of my favourite parts of the shows, if it's a show that I'm really familiar with, I will kind of not watch what's happening on stage and watch what's happening at the back with all the ensemble characters and seeing what they're doing, how they're interacting. Because I think that's a really magic part that people don't realise is all part of the scene building. It's just people on stage acting, even though they're not in the forefront, they still have to kind of be doing the thing they do. So I think that's always a big part.
One of the greatest moments I've seen on stage wasn't even part of the show. We were watching Beauty and the Beast with Giant from Gladiators last year. It was amazing. And what's the guy the guy from Beauty and the Beast? Gaston.
Yeah.
Gaston was this really tall, skinny guy that was ripped, and he kept taking his shirt off and stuff, of course. And he had this beautiful, like Prince Charming accent. And then afterwards, it was like the anniversary of the theatre, so they all came on and they all read a bit. And then Gaston came on and was like, "Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody coming," and everybody just burst out laughing because he had this broad Scouse accent. He's like, "Well, Gaston can't sound like this, can he?" And I was just like, that just showed his calibre of acting. acting that he was like, but really he's dying to be, you know.
Yeah. I guess the best actor is always the actor that you don't necessarily know about. Like you wouldn't have known about his voice and how good he was unless he came on at the end. And I guess that's the beauty of it. It's kind of the unseen, almost force.
I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see the show today. An award-winning playwright, John Godber. He's an OBE. He wrote Bouncers, which is an amazing show from way back when, which the Shropshire Drama Company did recently, featuring Neville Street, who's a good friend of ours. He does a lot of promotion for theatre locally. So I'm really excited to see this. We're going to go meet the cast. We're going to go interview them now. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I very intentionally don't know a lot about the show because I like to go in like really blind and kind of just let the magic take me away. So I'm super excited to see what's happening.
It sounds like such a oh yeah, of course, Alex. Yeah, that's how you do it. But genuinely, I've always said to people when I'm teaching people how to do podcasts, when I tell them how to, it's like don't do too much research because if you feel like you're going knowing too much, you're like, oh yes, and what about this? You got to learn about it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to speak to the cast right now. We're going to go and watch the show, and then we'll do a little bit afterwards to talk about what we liked about it.
Awesome, sounds good.
Let's go find the cast. Cheers. Right, guys, so we're at Theatre Severn, one of my favourite places to come. We've covered many shows here before. I wanted to make it a regular thing, though, because I think theatre is so important, especially now, especially during COVID. Wherever there is a problem with society, it's the arts they come after first. So whenever I can support the arts, I'm going to come out and do it, especially when it's in my hometown. And today, of course, I've got Polly. You all right?
Hello, I'm very good, thank you.
Thank you so much for jumping on this with me at such short notice.
Yeah, no problem. I'm really happy to be here. I am a big theatre nerd, so just be prepared.
Well, I'll leave it to you then. Here you go. This is the Polly Show. I love this. So obviously we're here for John Godber's Do I Love You today, which is, we haven't seen it yet. We're going to record this, watch the show, and then we'll review it afterwards. And we've got two members of the cast. We've got Martha and Emilio. Hello, guys. You all right?
Hello. I'm good, thank you.
You all right?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Excited for this. This is quite, exciting. I'm already struggling with what to say, mate.
How long have you been in the industry then for you? So we'll go to you guys separately.
I have been in the industry since I was a kid. I started acting when I was literally about 2 or 3 years old. Just loved performing, any opportunity to perform. There's a very funny story of me. I think at my 4th birthday party I made everyone sit down and watch me perform, which is just incredibly mortifying now, but that probably gives you a bit of a sense of the type of person I am. That could be a good thing or a terrible thing, hopefully a good thing. But yeah, so then I started working professionally, started kind of auditioning for things when I was like 13, 14, got a role on a BBC series called South Riding when I was 14, I think, which was just the coolest thing ever at the time. And then I did a feature film when I was 15, so I did kind of a couple of industry things before that. And my dad, who is the writer of the show, I was in a couple of his plays when I was young as well, around school and things like that, so really, really lucky to kind of have that access through the industry, through my parents. I then went to drama school when I was 18, straight away. I went to LIPA in Liverpool, which I loved. And then from then, just been working in the industry since.
Do you reckon there was a lot of extra pressure for you as with your folks being who they are? Would you?
You know what? Quite a lot of people ask me this, and like, if anything, they would actually trying to like make me avoid the industry. Everyone's like, did they like force you to get into it? I was like, oh my gosh, not at all. I don't think you could have like made me not be in the industry if I tried, because I just absolutely love it. But yeah, they're obviously incredibly supportive. But yeah, incredibly supportive. But yeah, they obviously know how hard it can be sometimes. So yeah.
And yourself, Emilio?
So I've sort of always loved like acting, performing. I think similar to Ma, when I was a bit younger, I kind of just used to, I don't think I ever gathered my family around for a performance, but I certainly was the entertainer of the family kind of thing. And I just loved doing that. Like, I loved sort of making people laugh, you know what I mean? Making people happy, that sort of thing. And did a lot of like amateur stuff when I was a bit younger. And then sort of when I finished college, I then went to drama school. After a year out of just sort of doing more amateur stuff, got into drama school. I think it was 20 18 I got into drama school, and then graduated in 2021, and then was working part-time and then getting like sort of shorter acting gigs here and there, some sort of more performy jobs, some that were just straight acting. And then 1 year sort of luckily enough the acting work started to pick up, so I've sort of just been working as a self-employed professional actor for a few years now, so long may that continue. He prays.
And when's the moment when you say you now as a self-employed actor, is that the moment where you say, I am an actor, I am what I wanted to be? Is that the moment for you?
I think for me, I don't know, it's kind of one of those things that you kind of never really get over. Like I say this a lot when I sort of like I don't know, look back at what I've done and like what I'm still doing now. Like if I could look back on like what I wanted like years and years ago and tell like my younger self, this is what you'd be doing, I'd be happy to just be in the wings, you know what I mean? So it's quite exciting doing this, and just very, very lucky, because I know it's a really hard industry to be in, isn't it? So to be one of the very lucky few that are doing something, that's just a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's really, we know like acting and stage is so difficult, you know, you got the audition process. How does it feel to actually like be able to work in a professional production and not get that no? Because I know that there's got to be like 10 no's to every yes, right?
Gosh, yeah, like it's yes, like 100 no's to every yes. It's absolutely crazy. So we are so privileged. We feel so lucky to be in a job at the minute, and Do I Love You's been going since 2023 now. So so lucky that it keeps coming back and being in that job, and it's such an amazing show, and we're all so close as a cast as well that it's such a privilege. And this is actually
Speaking
our
of,
other
we've
cast
got another
member.
cast member.
You can come in. Yeah.
So much. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah, come in.
I'm Chloe.
Nice to meet you. I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
This is Polly.
I'm Polly.
Hi, Polly. Lovely
Nice
to meet you. I love your outfit.
Thank you so much. You can say.
Would you like to introduce yourself to our
Of
listeners?
course. So my name is Chloe McDonald, and I play Natalie in Do I Love You?
Amazing. And we've asked these two, so I'm going to ask you. When did you first get into the industry for you?
Oh, do you mean professionally or
Professionally, yeah. And this is one of the because like we talked about that, but then we talked about when's the moment you realised you were an actor. When was that moment for you? You know?
Okay, so I think the first question is professionally. I got into it when I left drama school, I'd say. So I trained from 2015 to 2018, and I did my first professional job as an understudy for a theatre show for 3 weeks, which was in the October of that year. So we finished in May. I trained in Liverpool with Martha, and I decided to stay in Liverpool. I loved it. I'm originally from down south, but I really love the city. It's a great city, and I worked a normal job while I was at uni, so I made some really good friends. When did I want to be an actor? I used to go to a little amateur drama group called Theatre in the Hut, which was literally a theatre in a hut. There was about, 20 to 30 seats in there.
They're like the best, though, aren't they?
Yes, they're the best. I've spoken to a few people who I've worked with as actors, and we talk about when did you start to love it, and it's really sad because some people are like, I got into it as a child actor, so it was just a job for me. And I was like, for me it was a real love, and I met my friends there, and we wore wigs and we had crazy costumes, and the scripts were always really fun. So I came at it from a very sort of, I'd say a more of a loving way than kind of this more industry standard, if that makes sense.
It's like a brother sisterhood type thing, isn't it? Because one of my fondest times, I used to work as an actor at Shrewsbury Prison, right? So they got me doing lines. I was like a psychopathic butcher. They had me as Splinter, this like sneaky little convict that would sneak their drugs in people's pockets and start fights with people and stuff like that. I had all these amazing roles, but those people that worked with me in that prison, they were like family. Whenever we got together, it was just like. And have you guys got experiences of that when you're with the cast and it's like, you know?
I mean,
Yes.
this we literally are family. We have been through the highs and lows.
We have been through a lot of highs and lows, and when you are working together professionally, you can't help but have your personal lives leak into it. For example, I've had a baby since we did this tour. So thank you so much.
Okay, congratulations. There was a bit of a delay there.
You what?
You did what now?
Yeah, we started the tour in 2023, me without child, and now I have a 10-month-old. So we literally have been through it all. But I think it's really. I'm sure. I think I sort of heard what Martha was saying about how grateful she is for the job, and it really is. I was reading an article today just about the theatre industry in general, and we're doing a third less plays than we were 10 years ago. We're not putting them on. I say we, I mean producing theatres. And it's really hard to see that. And we've got a lot of friends in the industry who are really struggling right now, you know, and I think we just feel like the story itself is magic, and to be able to share it is incredible, because, you know, sometimes you do jobs that you don't necessarily love, but you do them because maybe they pay really well or they'll help your professional development. But I think we're in a really incredible situation where this opportunity and it keeps coming back, and we're really grateful for that, I think.
Yeah, really good. We went last night. Me and my family, we went to watch Six at Stoke, and that's like a show that really snowballed from the Edinburgh Fringe to what it is now, this monolithic thing. Do you think that momentum's really important when it comes to a brand new IP like this, a new idea, or do you think it's okay for longevity is really important?
I think both. I think ultimately, if something is long running like Six, and fortunately Do I Love You, it means that people enjoy it, we hope, and it means that audiences come and they want to see it and they like the story, and hopefully we're doing a good job of it. So I think it's both really important that people are able to come and it is able to exist, because unfortunately if it didn't have that relatability, or if it wasn't good, then I don't think we'd be here 2 years on. So I hope that it is.
I'm sure it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about the show itself then, where it comes from. Have you been part of this, Emilio, from the beginning? Or have you So tell us what your thoughts on the play itself and where it comes from for you.
Okay. So we've all luckily still been on it since it started back in 2023. So again, with that whole family thing you were saying before as well, it's brilliant that we've sort of been able to be on this journey and see that. I'd say the play for me it's about 3 20-somethings that have sort of all returned to Hull post-COVID. Obviously, when COVID was occurring, obviously everything just kind of life just sort of went on pause for a bit. So it's kind of a story of these 3 sort of young people don't really know what to do with themselves. There's nothing to really focus on, nothing to sort of strive towards anymore, because COVID's kind of ripped all that away from them. So what they do is they're sort of trying to get back to grips with what normal life is, and they all get a job at a chicken drive-through sort of takeaway place.
Love that.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, And whilst they're there, Chloe's character Nat hears "Do I Love You" by Frank Wilson, and my character Kyle has an idea of why don't we go to a Northern Soul night? Because they hear it and they look into it a bit more and they're like, oh my God, yeah, we should do this. And they go to a soul night and it's nothing what they thought it would be at all. And as the play goes on as well, we realise Sally, who Martha plays in the play, her family, her grandmother especially, has all these links to Northern Soul. She has all these vinyl records up in her loft and stuff, and there's so many links to Northern Soul that they might not necessarily have realised from the get-go. And over the course of the play, they sort of delve into this Northern Soul world, try and understand it, become a part of it as much more as they can, and get that authenticity really to sort of head towards. I don't want to spoil it too much, but head towards what they head towards with it. Yeah.
I love that because it gives you a license to really play with some funky music, right? That soul is like the essence of almost like a theatre. Theatre is really important when it comes to soul, isn't it? Because you get so many of that beautiful booming music from that it's got a sexy vibe to it. I love that. You guys, you work together from the beginning. That creates natural cadence, doesn't it? That gives you guys that opportunity to sort of learn each other's natural rhythms. And as a guy who's worked on doing something similar over the years, we've got a guy in America I've never even met. You learn each other's pauses and when you're struggling and when you can pick each other up, and huge advantage, right, to a play like this.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're fortunate enough we can read each other like a book. So if there's something off with one of us, we know that 3 lines before they do themselves. We are just so into sync with each other, which we're really grateful for.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of, it adds, because we are the original cast and we've done it for such a long time, the play, and there's just things, I mean, we've talked about it and we do talk about it because we just love the piece so much, but there's things that we still discover about our characters now that, I think we're on show 110 or something like that. We've done it a lot, but you still find different things that you just, when you really lean into the words, because that's our Bible at the end of the day, as actors, that's what gives us everything that we need. And when you really lean into that, even though you've said it 108 times, you might say a line and think, oh yeah, it suddenly hits you in a different way, and that's a really cool thing. And we're constantly kind of discovering things, and I think now, because we know it so well, you can we're playing with each other in ways that we wouldn't have done in 2023, because you want to, you're thinking about it in a different way, whereas now it's in us, it's in our bones, and we're doing it in a way that we couldn't have done. Again, it's almost like a rep theatre, which they aren't here anymore, but we've been given the opportunity to continue this over years, which means that you get to really hone your craft constantly, and we're really lucky for that.
Is every show different for you guys then? Is there always like different moment of something's happened in one night that then will never happen again, or you did something you think, oh God, I wish I didn't do that, I'm never doing that again?
I think we're quite lucky in the sense of because we've done so many different venues over the few years that we've done it. Naturally, there's people that will sort of find certain things funnier in some venues than they might in others. The beautiful thing about it, Martha said earlier, is it's so relatable. But obviously, what one person in the audience might count as relatable might be completely different to someone else a few weeks later. So what's really cool is you're always on your toes with it. So sometimes we might just be doing a scene that we do a million times through in a week, and we're like, oh, that bit was funny today, was it? Okay, that's really cool. Or oh, that got a bit of a reaction tonight. That's quite cool. So we kind of sort of look through it and analyze it at the interval, oh, that was really interesting, wasn't it? Yeah, so maybe we should, and it's really cool because we're so open about it as well, and I think that comes from the trust that we've all got between each other. We can really sort of delve into what works, and it's I don't know, it's like a sport almost, you know what I mean? You got your tactics at the interval, kind of right, we can do this, or they like a bit of this, so we can try that, you know what I mean? It's which keeps you on your toes, and it makes it really, really fun and as much more enjoyable.
It's always about the audience as well, I think. It can make an audience can make or break a show in a lot of ways. And have you had some good audiences?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They're
great. I think the audience is the other character, isn't it? And you kind of especially with Do I Love You, because we do talk directly to the audience as well. In a lot of my dad's plays, John Godber plays, they do have that direct address, so we can kind of go out there and kind of gauge the audience, and they are like another character. So really grateful for that. But we've had crazy audiences on this job, which has been amazing, but also sometimes quite hard as an actor, because when people come in and having a good time and they've had a drink and people like to shout out, and I personally love that as an actor. I think people should go to the theatre and be able to interact to an extent, but really involve themselves in that show, because it is an experience, and it is a everyone is welcome in the theatre. So
absolutely. Well, my son last night was singing to the 6 songs, and I know that's beautiful, because there was a moment at the end where everyone, but I was kind of there's this thing at the moment on social media, do you sing at a theatre show, do you not? And I was kind of I didn't want someone to record it, so I was kind of I know you love the songs, we listened to them all the way to the Stoke yesterday, was great, but I was I'm sorry, kid, but
be cool, man. Be cool.
My wife was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I had to explain to her afterwards." You know what I mean? You got to contain yourself sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But I think what we're finding with this particular piece is that we're getting people who don't go to the theatre, which again, like Martha and Amelia, we love that, because we're great. They're people that are coming in, they don't know it, they know it's about Northern Soul, and they're Northern Soulers. So a lot of the music that John has picked is incredible, because he's a huge Northern Soul fan, and that just bleeds through in everything that's written in it and the songs. But we play snippets of the songs, and you do get the occasional audience members who will continue to sing it or continue to clap and go, "Where's the music gone?" And they will shout that at you when you're in the...
Put it back on!
Which is, again, it's
time.
It is. And it's really raw, but it's fantastic.
Sorry, Chloe, that is feedback that we do get with the show, because it has got so much Northern Soul music in. Audience members sometimes want us to play the entire song through, but of course we can't do that because we are in a play. So I think there's a balance there as well between trying to please audiences and let them obviously have the music, because it's such a big part of the story and the culture, but have the balance of we are telling a story, and it's a journey that they go on.
I was having a conversation with my son Timmy earlier, because there's an audition for Cats, which is locally, and I was trying to explain to him this is one of the original greats. This is great. Lloyd Webber is amazing. But there's also that thing where it's it's a brand new project. This was at the beginning when you guys do. What do you think is more exhilarating for you, going for something new that could be big, or doing one of the great shows? You know what I mean? Being a part of something like The Lion King, or these big Wicked or something.
I mean, if Lion King come knocking, obviously you don't say no, do you? But at the same time, I think we were talking about this. I think we must have been in Blackpool, and we were sort of like going, "Oh, what would be your dream role? What would you love to do?" and stuff like that. And what I think's so cool about like this industry is you can have your eye on like your dream roles, like all these big West End plays and stuff like that, or all these regional things you want to do, or like telly credits and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, your dream role could be something that hasn't even been written for you yet, which I think is such an exciting part of this industry. It's like, if I think I said it to you guys before, it's like, if I would have come to watch Do I Love You, I'd have wanted to play the role that I'm playing, and I'd have looked at that and gone, that'd be so fun to play. And I think what's lovely about it is like I say, like sometimes of course everyone wants to do a play that, or like a musical or something that already has all this like that's a great
gravitas.
Sorry.
That's one for the books.
Yeah, innit? 1-0 Chloe. But like has all that gravitas behind it. But I think sometimes it's really interesting as well because, fair enough, with new writing, I guess you could have the opposite effect, and like sometimes you get a new play that doesn't necessarily gain that gravitas, but like what's lovely is you find a gem like this and it comes along not all the time. And I think the fact that we are so lucky to, like we said, be the originals that have done it, and lucky enough to have still been doing it now and have done it for so long, it's really, really cool.
Amazing. Anything to add on to that?
I think you've articulated that fantastically.
It's because I use always words.
No, you did amazingly. Yeah,
just similar. I think like Emilio says, everyone has, as an actor, everyone has those things, don't they? Whether I would love to work there or I'd love to be in that. But I think ultimately, with this, to be able to go out on stage in a great play with great cast and great audiences, for me, there's nothing better.
Amazing. I wanted to ask you guys something quite. I'll speak about myself first, and I'll go around. But if you could re-watch a musical for the first time, right? You delete it from your memory and then re-watch it for the first time. Which one would it be? I was going to say South Park, Bigger, Longer and Uncut, because that was one of my first musicals.
That's a choice.
I love that. But for me, this is going to sound really, but one of my greatest musicals, because it's one of the first ones I watched with my son, is The Greatest Showman. I love that so much. From the first note, that first, I really wish I could erase that from my memory files and re-watch it for the first time. Has anybody got one that they can? Are you still thinking?
I feel like, because there's so many good ones, I feel like I'd have to pick a few. But I think for me, obviously, I know we spoke about it a minute ago, but Lion King, the first time I actually saw that live, I was like in bits. That was insane. But I think if there's one that I could rewatch for the first time ever again, and one that's really stuck with me, and one that if I know someone's going to see, I'm like, oh my God, it's brilliant, is Waitress. For me, it's just one of the most phenomenal musicals I've ever seen.
Amazing, cool.
Obviously, there's loads of others.
I've got to say something quite rogue here.
Oh, here we go.
so have I.
Because I just loved it so much when it came out, and I do love it now. High School Musical. Guys, I know it's not the biggest kind of, we're not on the West End, we're not on Broadway, but for me, as a kid watching that, I was just absolutely obsessed with it.
It was an experience.
It was an actual, religious experience.
I'm with you there.
Like Troy Bolton, can we just? Do you know what I mean? So that for me is just, I would love to watch that again for the first time because it was amazing. But in terms of live shows, it's a hard one. There's so many amazing musicals out there. I mean, Hamilton, the music of that I think is incredible, and I'd love to listen to the soundtrack of that for the first time again. Yeah.
Have you got one, Polly?
Mine's quite a recent one. I only saw this a couple of months ago, but it's Hadestown. And I kid you not, I have never had an experience like it in the theatre. We sprung for really good seats as well, so we were really close. Could actually see facial expressions which never happens for me in the West End. And it was just the presence that those actors had on stage. It was the original London cast, and it was just phenomenal, and it stuck with me I was thinking about it all night, and I was thinking about it for weeks after, just everything that happened. So if I could watch that again, 100%.
Yeah. I actually thought of another one. Sorry, I'm going to have to say it because I feel like I've had a fake vote with High School Musical. Come From Away. come
Again,
from
yeah.
away, similar to kind of what Polly was just saying
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Like, I got rush tickets, so again, never normally sit that close to it on a West End show, but being that up close and hearing that story, yeah, really, really phenomenal show for Come From Away.
Chloe, have you gone?
Okay, I've never actually seen it, but I used to listen to on my little Walkman CD player on the school bus. It was about a 40-minute drive there and back, and I used to genuinely listen to the CD constantly. Phantom of the Opera, and it's actually one of those shows that I'd love to see, but I think I would. I don't know how I'd be if I actually saw it live because I don't really watch a lot of musicals. So I saw Shrek and I love Shrek.
It's really good.
Really good. I saw it twice. I loved it so much. I went back.
Chloe was going on about it
honestly,
so much.
For God's sake, shut up. And yeah, so I loved. It would be Shrek, but Phantom of the Opera to hear the music again.
I mean, to be in the room, I mean, I keep mentioning 6 because it's like fresh in the memory. We went there last night, but we listen to it in the car all the time. My son knows it word for word, note for note. But to be in the presence of those women and to like, it was just so powerful, so like brilliant, just to feel the bass of it, you know.
It is. I saw 6 when it was first at the Edinburgh Fringe, when it literally first started, and I remember seeing it and I was like, this is incredible. So yeah.
Like, we did it, guys. I know you guys got a sound check now.
My check. I'm really
No,
sorry.
No. I knew this was coming, but thank you so much for taking the time out to speak to us. And to the company as well for inviting me along, and we're going to watch the show and review it later.
Enjoy.
Yes, we're going to watch it tonight.
We're reviewing it after. That's why
We're going to review it. We're going to be like, it was.
Yeah, they don't have to talk to us.
We'll do a Gary Barlow. It was absolutely brilliant.
Well, maybe we'll see you after then.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, that'd be great.
If you fancy, it'd be nice.
That'd be really good. Break a leg, guys.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Really love to speak to you.
Right, so me and Polly just come out of Do I Love You? A long show. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I really enjoyed it. It was a bit long. It was like I say, past my bedtime. But no, really enjoyed it. Really loved it.
I should have looked at the running time before the game. But that being said, like I felt like you get bang for your buck. You know what I mean? Like,
It didn't like. When I say it's a long show, it didn't drag. We weren't sitting there like checking watches or anything. Like, it was so much going on and so much happening. Like, it was insane.
It was a great show in a way that there were 3 great actors on stage, not a lot going on around them, 100%. But they captivated the audience with the monologue, with the story, mixed in with bits of music. So the premise of the story is there's 3 friends that work a mundane job, and then they find their love for Northern Soul, and kind of muddles, I don't want to spoil it if you want to go see it, but kind of intertwines with their lives, their personal lives, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, we talked to the cast beforehand, and they kept saying about like how relatable it was and how like you can kind of really find yourself in it. And it was absolutely true. Like, there were so many times they were talking about, it was a group of 20-somethings trying to figure out what they were doing for the rest of their lives. And I was like, man, we've all been there, and it's all something that we can all relate to. And yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, the caliber of the acting on stage was unbelievable. Like, the 3, I always love really small cast productions, especially when it's like they play multiple roles with one person.
I love Keith. Keith stole the show.
He stole the show. He literally stole the show. Yeah. He was, and they literally, I heard someone behind us, I don't know if you heard it as well, was going, "Oh, he's good, he is."
Oh, he's good.
And it was just, the reaction from the audience was crazy.
And that was, a 20-something-year-old guy playing a guy in his 60s, I just thought that was really, really good. We need to talk, obviously, about the audience, because I think the audience were like, they were talking to the 3 actors earlier that were saying that the audience is like an added member of the cast, and I feel that's so true, because there was like intervals of where they play different soul songs in between, where they get up and change scene, and then there would be like gasps in the crowd. Oh, I haven't heard this in ages. They were like throwing out names of artists and album cover titles and stuff, and the gasps in the audience and stuff was great.
People were like singing along. They were like dancing in their chairs. There was one guy a couple of seats from us, going like every time they name drop someone, he'd be like, "Oh, proper legend that, yeah." And it was just like, whoa, okay, this is obviously like a huge thing that, I don't know, I guess I didn't really understand.
It's a generation thing.
Yeah, like obviously I've heard of Northern Soul and that kind of thing, but I didn't realise how big it was. I don't know if you have the same kind of reaction to that, but
I did, but what I got out of it is quite beautiful in the fact that it is a generational thing.
Yeah.
But it's also a genre of music that is welcoming of every genre, of every generation, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And it's good, it's good music as well. It's really good songs and like stuff. And like literally everyone was dancing along, and at the end they did kind of like that final number. And literally I think everyone was having a little bit of a boogie in their chair sort of thing. So yeah, it was insane. It was just such a great vibe, such a great audience to be in.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So thank you to the guys for inviting us along today. We're not going to be able to stick around to speak to the cast because I've got to get home. I've got to get ready for an early morning, and it's past my bedtime, like you said.
It's past bedtimes.
But yeah, we got to do this again. So I want to throw this out to anybody that's listening to this. That's bringing a production to Shrewsbury. If John, if they're coming back again with anything else, like we want to cover stuff at the theatre, and you're more than welcome, Polly, to join me. I think you were great.
Please, I'd love to come along. Anything about theatre, Shrewsbury, all the rest, I'm there, man. I'm absolutely there.
Is there anything that you're working on at the moment? Is there anything that you'd like to talk about?
No, not hugely. I mean, everything is just kind of. You put me on the spot now. No,
I love that. Let's do the thing.
Yeah, no, I have no particular shout outs. I am just, if anyone wants to hang out with me on Instagram, go ahead. But yeah, just love doing this, love talking about theatre. So, talk to me about stuff.
Big shout out to the John Godber company as well for bringing this out. We're going to get some pictures from them as well. They're going to send us some pictures over as well so you can see what it looked like on stage. Big thank you to Theatre Severn. The staff here have been really, really nice and accommodating. When you come to something like this and you walk around with a microphone, people look at you a bit funny. They cloaked my microphone as well so I didn't look like I was just sneakily trying to record the show, because they're hot on stuff like this. And we did ask for permissions for everything we've done today, so it's really good. So thank you, Polly, for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome. It's been a really great time.
I've really enjoyed it. And we'll catch you guys a bit. Stick around, guys, because I'll do a bit of an outro and I'll talk about things we've got coming up on the Biscuit. But thank you for listening so far. Cool. Yeah, cool. Thanks to Emilio, Chloe, and Martha for chatting to us before the show there. Now it's been a couple of weeks since that show, Do I Love You? It gave me some time to think about music and what it means to everybody individually. And, when it comes to Northern Soul, whether you're into your drum and bass, hip hop, rock music, whatever it is, when you hear music that you used to love when you're younger, and it gets those synapses going, that nostalgia going, there's something really magical about how music grabs us and what it does to us emotionally. And, I think Do I Love You absolutely encapsulated that perfectly. So now I've had a couple of weeks to think about it. Yeah, perfect show. Really loved it. Thank you. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand you over to Vix, who interviewed a couple of SWIB members, Shropshire Women in Business, after the talk by Pippa Tate at Hickory's. This just gives you an idea of the kind of businesses that Shropshire Women in Business work with, and their reactions after one of the talking events that they've put on. I encourage you to check out SWIB's, SWIB, or Shropshire Women in Business Instagram. Chuck it into Google and look at what they're doing, and look at how they can help you. If you're a woman that owns a business and you want to be part of a collective that can help you and give you the right advice and put on events and give you content that can help you nurture your business, then that's where to go. So Vix, take it away.
Jelly. Hi, it's Vix from the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm here at the Shrewsbury Women in Business, and we've had a wonderful, wonderful presentation today with Pippa Tate. And I've got some lovely ladies here who've just finished the session with her, and I'm just wanting to know, meet you, what you do, what it is that you do yourselves, why you've come today, and what you got from today. So just like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kay from Kay Heseltine Design.
Oh, fantastic. And what is it that you do, and what do you design, Kate?
So I specialise in branding and logo design.
Oh, that's wonderful. Fantastic. And what did you think of today's presentation?
Oh, it was brilliant. I've heard Pippa speak before, so that was kind of the draw with me coming along today. And it's just been great, really, to have that time to think about the business rather than kind of working on it all the time or working in it all the time, having just a couple of hours to think about,
Oh, that's fantastic. So are you a SWIB member yourself at the moment, or are you thinking of joining?
I'm a SWIB member, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. So it's wonderful that you get these opportunities, isn't it, to grow your business and improve what you do. Hello, we've got another lovely lady here. Could you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Hello, my name's Marianne Brown and I work for Fair Share Credit Union. So that's a financial cooperative that supports local people with financial options.
Oh, fantastic. And are you yourself a SWIB member, or have you just paid to come along today?
I am a SWIB member, yes, I am. Yeah, a new member, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. And it's great that they offer the first session free, I believe, isn't it? So you can...
They do, and a nice coffee, and it's just a really nice community of women that support each other with ideas. And
And what's your takeaway the most from today? What's your big takeaway from today, would you say?
I think it's like you say, you can be so involved in working in the business that you need to step back and listen to other ideas and share ideas. I think that's the most important.
Lots to go away with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Nice to meet you. And I'm joined by another lovely lady today. What's your name and what do you do?
Hi, my name's Jules Windsor and I'm a permanent makeup artist.
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. And are you a SWIB member yourself, or have you just come to join along today and paid for the ticket for today?
I am a SWIB member, but only just recently. So, yeah, I'm just getting to know everybody. So, just scratching the surface.
Oh, that's brilliant. And so it's wonderful being in this community of all ladies together. And so, have you made some connections and you've been networking with other people? And
yeah, definitely. I've made some connections and I've got some new clients from it. So that it's an added bonus. But it's just nice to be with other people, and it's amazing what you pick up that helps you with your own business.
And what did you think of today's presentation?
Oh, I thought it was amazing. She did a fabulous presentation, and it was just so nice you get cocooned in your own business, and it's nice to be able to think a little bit outside of the box, and everything that she was saying, it makes sense. But
so you've got your notes on your pad here with you, so you take a bit to take away. And you get the presentation, the PowerPoint sent through to you as a member, I believe.
Yes.
You get to look at that when you can go home in your own time and review everything.
Which is excellent, because that's what you want. Yeah, it's nice because you make notes, but you don't remember everything, do you? So it's just good to recap and
fantastic. So what would you say to recommend other people who might be thinking of joining?
Oh, just come along. You can come along for a tester, and it's great because you just feel everybody's just so relaxed and so friendly, and there's nothing to worry about. It's just, very, very casual.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. It's been great to hear your feedback and lovely to meet you today.
You too.
Take care. Bye.
Wicked. Thank you so much, Vix. That was really, really good. Still learning the ropes with a microphone, and got some really good content. Thank you to everybody who spoke to Vix at the SWIB talk event. I think it's really important to support local businesses, and I think Shropshire Women in Business is a great opportunity to do that. So if anybody's listening to this is from SWIB, or if you got an independent business, I get messages all the time from local business people, want to come on the podcast. Always happy to help. When the town is vibrant with culture like this theatre production we've covered today, like the local businesses we speak to. As we speak right now, I'm just navigating my weekend through Loopfest, booking in bands and artists slots to record over the weekend. I love this. This is exactly why I do what I do. This is what makes me passionate about the Shrewsbury Biscuit and covering this town, is how amazing it is and how diverse it is when it comes to opportunistic content creation, because it just happens so easily and so organically. It's great. I love it. It makes me want to do more. I'm always eager to add on more and more, because there's just so much to talk about. There's so many more events now. So many businesses get in touch with me, and I still have a massive list that I'm adding on to of people that are definitely coming on the show soon. So we're going to add on to the team. We've got a permanent member we're going to be speaking to very soon. But I want to offer this out to other people. If you're listening to this and you want to have a go, you want to come to an event with me, or you want to have a run on speaking to, we just done a theatre show, specialise in different sectors, history, culture, the arts, authors. If there's something that you want covered on the Shrewsbury Biscuit and you reckon you'd be a great asset to do that, get in touch. I really would be eager to hear it from you. And there's never any pressure. I've spent the last 20 minutes trying to articulate what I mean when it comes to how I do this for passion, and it's never a stress and it's never a hard thing to do, because I do it when I enjoy it. And that's the same for Vix as well. For anybody that comes on, it's got to be fun. If it becomes a chore, then take a break, step back a little bit. Sometimes what I tend to do is I'll bank content for like 2 or 3 weeks, so that gives me time to recharge my batteries so that I can go out and do these things. Because, just mentioned I'm doing Loop Fest now. It's sometimes it can take a lot out of you, and then you have to recharge your batteries. So if you do want to be a part of it, take it in your own stride. Get in touch with me. Let's do something. Let's collaborate. If you're a content creator and you're a podcaster, I love working with people like us, like what we do. It's great. Anyway, I've rambled on loads and loads and loads and loads. This has been a strange but brilliant podcast episode. I love this. Theatre, business, great. The next episode you're going to hear is going to be the Sabrina's 50th birthday. Oh, what a great event to be at. So catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll get you on the next one. Peace out.